Rob, thank you for joining us. On paper, a very good result against a strong Huddersfield side that will be fighting promotion at the end of the season, but is there mixed emotions after sort of going ahead twice and not winning a game? How do you assess it?
I think my overriding emotions is pride. Genuinely really proud of the group. I think that's a question mark maybe when I come in. Could they defend and fight like that? And considering everything that's gone against us with the injuries and everything, and they just showed their character overall. And I said to them in there, don't be disappointed by the fact we're hanging on against the team that's, last year we was 2 leagues apart. 4 or 5 years ago they're in the Premier League. It's just an incredible character, incredible culture that the lads are building, and I'm genuinely so proud of them. That's my overriding feeling. Yes, we'll dissect the game and see where we can get better, but no, just really pleased. I can pick people out, but I can't pick anyone. I thought everyone to the man was fantastic in and out the squad, and I think it's not going to mean we're not turning any corners. We're not getting one step ahead of ourselves, too high, too low. But we're just creating minimum standards that we have to keep, and that was another minimum standard. We've raised the bar a little bit more again. Yeah,
and that's a big takeaway, isn't it? That we say that we were hanging on, but Huddersfield had to fight back, and as you say, two very different teams. Last season, as you say, two leagues separating us. So to feel disappointed is almost a good thing, isn't it? Because it shows how far we've come.
Yeah, exactly, and it is disappointment because I thought they're a top team. Statistically they should be top, or they should be second or third. But they're obviously coming together again. Michael's a brilliant manager and a good person, and I think to back up Burton with another good positive result, and you have to just keep ticking them off. We just have to. We can't think too far ahead. We just think about Tuesday, we think about Saturday, and then that's it. But yeah, I think the thing I was pleased with is we had a game plan to start the game with. We didn't execute as well as we could have done early on, but the idea was that we know they were aggressive, going man for man, so we put our quickest 3 players on top of the pitch in Harry, Rushy and Swanee. And obviously, Rushy gets the first goal by that, and Swanee does a lot of work for the team that he doesn't get. Maybe he sometimes doesn't get the opportunities because he's doing so much work. And I thought his touch for the set for the pass to Rushy was exceptional. So really pleased with that. And when we did lose energy, the lads who come on just gained more and more. But I think one person not just one person, but Max Anderson has been unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable as a character and as a and in terms of his performances. For me, just different class. Goes about his business, doesn't moan, doesn't argue, just gets on with it. And I thought he was exceptional today.
We seem to execute the areas where we know we're going to cause teams' defence really well. I mean, it was quite obvious today that one of those was with pace in behind. There was constant balls into Forster on the wide. Who created the second goal in the end. Obviously, Rush scoring the first as well. So is that really pleasing for you to see that we're sort of really putting teams under pressure in the areas we know we're strongest?
Yeah, and I think it's also what I'm really pleased with is it's taken a little bit of time because the team is so structured before we come in a good way, in an unbelievable way, and I think the adaptation to this level that I'm seeing is that probably what you found from the earlier performances against teams, that they're so good structurally and they're so powerful on the counter that we have to be able to have 2, 3, 4 dimensions to our game so that teams can't always press, they can't always sit off, and I thought we did that really well today. And I think what I'm really pleased and proud of the lads is the buy-in that I've talked about in terms of what we're asking was incredible, and along with their determination and spirit. And we have to try our best to try and see opportunities where we can hurt teams. And I felt, wide areas today, we felt there was an opportunity to hurt them, and I think we did. We'd like to have done it more, but that was an unbelievable energy zapping game today because Huddersfield are the best at what they do. They're so aggressive man for man. They can play. They get more crosses in the box than any other team. So, just an incredible performance.
Yeah, we don't like to single out any players, obviously, but we are missing a few of what some may call the key players. Obviously, Flintley's got a bad injury, so he's going to be out for a while. Armando's out, was causing defence lots of troubles in the early parts of the season. So when you compare some of the people that they're bringing in off the bench, some who were championship strikers last season, again, massive credit has to go to the group in the changing room for holding on, because after they scored, they put a lot of pressure on us, didn't they? So to hold out is really impressive.
Yeah, exactly, and I thought the lads who come on really did give us a bit more energy, a bit more opportunity, and we did have opportunities to score and nick the game. Obviously, towards the end, it was all men to deck, and you know what? In a weird way, it's not how I like my teams to play. I want to be on the front foot. I want to be possession based, but what I'm learning very quickly and what the lads are learning is that points breed confidence, they breed results, and now we've gone, 3 games unbeaten, only lost 1 in 5. So that helps the lads with the buy-in. It helps the lads to keep going when they're, some of these players are playing with, big knocks and stuff, and they're putting their body on the line. Swanee's calf, Toby's back, and I think the fact that they're willing to do that, and then the performances they put in just should add to all their belief and add to all the other stuff where we know we can hurt teams, we can score goals, we can hurt teams, which is exactly what we want to do. Yeah,
it should give the players in there some belief, but it should also give the fans some belief as well. As you say, one loss in 5, not only for the players and the staff, but the fans have to take a lot of pride and confidence in that, because it is going to come to a stage later on in the season where points do mean everything. So to be gaining any, fans will always want to be winning week in, week out, but to be gaining points is positive momentum, isn't it?
100%, and a point against Huddersfield at home, you can say great point, and it was. But I think the performance and the way we went about it, considering all the things that are against us at the moment with the injuries and everything, was probably the reception at the end, all the fans clapping and the lads. Because I think the fundamental thing you want as a fan, I was fortunate enough to play for my boyhood club at Cholton, and obviously a very passionate fan group at Newcastle. It's become my second team. Is they just want they want players that will replicate what a fan can control. So if I'm a fan, I can't maybe not have the ability as a Rushy, but I can run and I can fight and I can head for the club and the badge, and I think that's what the lads did. And I thought the reception at the end was brilliant, and the reception Tuesday night was genuinely got me quite emotional, because 200 people, 300 people travel up on a Tuesday night to watch us at Burton. Not the most attractive game in the world, but then afterwards they're cheering the team, they're singing the club's name, and I think that's what these lads have done, and that's what they need to continue to do, is make the club proud. And no matter what happens going forward, if we can be a team, a club that's together and proud and attacking this league in every way, knowing that we're David against Goliath pretty much every week, well then let's just embrace it and enjoy the ride.
Thanks. Oh yeah, speaking about fans, as I was sitting in the press box at the end, a couple walked past me. One gave me a thumbs up and said, "I'll take that," and another gave a fist bump and said, "What a performance." I mean, that must be really pleasing to hear for you.
It is, because I think it's not the cleanest performance in terms of the play, but we knew it wasn't going to be. They're really well structured, they step on man for man, and they back themselves to be physically more dominant than we are, and we stood up to it tremendously well. And yes, it was all hands to the pump, and we had to fight, we had to scrap towards the end of the game, but we want to stay in this league. Of course you've got to do that. That is you have to fight, you have to show that fight, that bollocks, excuse my language, but you have to, because there's no other way you're going to survive in this league by just being one-dimensional. You have to do everything, and that's why I'm so proud of the lads, because they showed a side to them that I have seen, and I'm seeing it more and more. And I think, some of these players here there's so much more to come from them. But if they can keep their mentality, not get too high, not get too low, and stay consistent, but keep topping up the minimum level. So that was our minimum base now, and we can't fall below that. Physically, our output, our running, our organisation can't fall below that ever again. That has to be our minimum. And even if the quality isn't there, because that's football, that's life, at least we can always fall back onto that.
Yeah, and we've mentioned the players that are missing. Jay Williams, obviously, he's been a vital part in the last couple of seasons. Bradley Ibrahim stepped in, and he's looked not out of place at all, has he? I mean, what does he bring to the side for you? Yeah.
Brad just brings bite and enthusiasm and a desire that he wants to get better. And Brad just needs to understand that he can only get better for 90 minutes. He can't fast forward where he wants to get to. And I mean that in the nicest possible sense, because I've really enjoyed working with Brad. His hunger, his tenacity, but also he wants to get better. He wants to learn. And, he's a ferocious character. He's fiery, but he's added that to our group. And I think our group are fiery and they're ferocious. With Jay missing at the moment, we've got someone who takes up that mantle, who's aggressive, and then you've got Max, and then you've got Pan today who run himself into the ground. His first time he's done 3 games in a week, and then Jez, Gav. I can talk about all of them, but I thought it was we've got to have that, because before the game even starts, you have to fight. You have to be willing to fight the opposition, and then you want to play the football after.
Yeah, and Connal Trueman as well. It's quite a unique situation with him. He hasn't played a lot of football at all, and he's come in twice now to help out. And I thought specifically first half, I thought he was exceptional today. He pulled off that brilliant save from point blank. And now just a word about him and how he's performed for you.
I think it was a no-brainer to bring Connal back, because when you look at it on paper, he's conceded 9 goals in 2 games. But his performance was exceptional. There might have been the first goal against Shrewsbury you'd be disappointed with, but again, he adds to our group. He's coming for crosses against one of the biggest teams. He's punching. He's making saves. His distribution was fantastic. He organises and he's really bought into the culture. So yeah, like really pleased with him. Really happy with what he's brought. And you know, I was desperate to bring him back. He was desperate to come back. And yeah, he's been a big part of it. You know, Jojo's been exceptional for us this season. To lose him in the manner we did was tough, but to have Connal there really does help in the fact that we know we've got a reliable person to come in, and obviously even Jasper. You know, his training is exceptional, and he's hopefully when we can get the goalkeeping situation a bit more fluid because of how unlucky we've been, he can get out on loan and start developing because he's got a real chance.
Brilliant, thanks Rob.
Nice.
Connal, thank you for joining us. A 2-2 draw here at the Broadfield Stadium against Huddersfield. Can I get your overall reflection on the game first?
Yeah, I think it's probably a fair result in the end. It's a point that I'm sure we would have taken at the start of the game. When you go 2-1 up, you know, you want to be able to see it out. Wasn't to be the case today, but as I say, I think it was a fair result. They had spells, we had spells, and you know, shake hands and take the point.
Yeah, and obviously for yourself, a couple of great saves in the first half. I think the first one where it was actually offside is probably a better save than the second one. You've got to give you big credit for that. I hate it when stuff like that happens because everyone will forget about it. But it's a really good save to tip it around the post, and obviously the one that sort of hit you point blank. You've got to be in the right place at the right time to make those saves, haven't you? So it must be pleasing for yourself to have contributed to what in the end will be a very good point.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the offside save. I've got to be honest with you, it felt really good. It never makes the highlights or anything like that, but no. The second one, you just get in the right position, make yourself as big as possible, and hope that it hits you really. And luckily it did, and then we were able to get up and deal with the second ball. So, there was balls into the box. Thought the lads were excellent at defending them, bodies on the line, and we've all contributed to, as you say, what is a very, very good point.
Yeah, and for yourself, obviously your second spell here, it's very strange circumstances. Obviously, it's strange enough when you get a goalkeeper in for 7 days, but then to have them back such a short time after for another 7 days. In a previous interview, you said that it sort of didn't sit right with you the way that you sort of left the first time with the results that we got. So to be able to contribute, in the last week to 2 very positive results, must be pleasing for yourself as well.
Yeah, 100%. As I said, didn't sit right with me how last time ended. So as soon as I got the call, there was the opportunity to come back. It was an absolute no-brainer. I was buzzing to get back and put things right a little bit, and I feel like we've been able to do that as a team over the last 2 games and take 2 good results.
Yeah, and how have you been enjoying your time at the club so far? Obviously on loan, as we said, twice from Millwall. The fans were chanting your name a little bit today as well, so it must be a great feeling. Yeah,
it's a really good feeling. It'd been a while since I'd played. Obviously we're not playing at Millwall, so to get back out on the pitch first and foremost was an unbelievable feeling. To have the fans, chanting my name as well was really cool. As I said, it's a weird experience for them, just having me chucked on them as much as it's weird for me as well. So I really appreciate their support. It's been 2 spells that I've enjoyed so far, and we'll see what happens over the next week or so.
Yeah, we haven't had a great deal of luck in the goalkeeper department in terms of injuries. Obviously we've had Joe out with concussion, we've had Eddie with a sort of semi-long-term injury, and obviously Joe goes away on international duty, so potentially we're obviously not sure yet. There's potential for the loan to be extended as well, so knowing that you've got sort of the fans back in and you've been able to put in 2 very good performances, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for you to sort of extend your stay a little bit longer, would it?
Absolutely not. I don't think there's any downside to it, any negative at all. I want to stay. If Jojo does go away, I'm hoping the club want me to stay, and then we'll attack another week and hopefully get a couple more positive results.
Yeah, and just in terms of personally away from the club as well, it must be nice for yourself to get some real first team minutes under your belt, because obviously you've got a great goalkeeping department at Millwall, haven't they? So to be able to come here and get some much needed minutes for yourself, again, must be a great feeling.
Yeah, 100%. As I said, like when I first got the call the first time round, it was a no-brainer as well to come in and get minutes, play football, real football. Like I say, it's been a while, so it was just a no-brainer, and I'm enjoying the experience. I'm enjoying that match day feeling again, and hoping it continues for a little while yet.
Perfect. Thank you, Connal.
Top man. Thank you very much.